think what you have here is you have sort of the usual way of doing things, which not necessarily is bad, but it's sort of more of the same. If you want a new way, a new look for the Senate, a new way of sort of thinking about how the Senate works, I think that's why, if you were interested in that, that's when I asked for your vote, because there's, I don't think as many senators resigned as they did just because of personal reasons. This did not happen in my prior years. Last year at the presidential forums, the attendance was much higher. There is a reason for this, and it's not because people are just too busy. People are just generally not interested in the Senate anymore and not interested in what it can do for the student body. So I think that really demands real change and a real new way of doing things.
There's been a lot of talk about business as usual. If you vote for Tomas Garcia, it'll be the same old Senate. It'll be business as usual. I'm here tonight to tell you that if you vote me to be your president, it will not be business as usual. I have a three-pronged platform: a new style of leadership, a new Tufts, and a new pride. I encourage you all to go onto my website, www.tomasfortufts.com, and please read the specifics of my platform, which I have laid out step by step to show you that next year will not be business as usual if you vote me as your president. That next year there will be a new style of getting things done, that things will get done, and that we will unite as jumbos. I think that a solution to tackling this problem would be, for example, switching our current system of RAs to one of, instead of being disciplinary figures, those RAs could serve as more mentorship figures. Now, this is a policy that's been adopted in universities and colleges across the United States, and it's seen tremendous success in reducing the rates of alcohol-related medical emergencies.
It's really changed my years at Tufts. I think it's pretty much the amount of drinking has just sort of stayed at a similar level, and each year new people matriculate to Tufts, they experience problems with alcohol. I think one of the problems is Tufts really doesn't try to work with it, they just try to ignore it.
Tufts University has a responsibility to provide a holistic education to students from all different walks of life, from students from different minorities, students of different sexual orientations, what have you. I think it's incredibly important that we as a university work towards providing those academic opportunities for all sorts of students to study whatever they want to study. I think that there's a strong push this year. There's a strong showing of support for the creation of an Avocado Studies Department.
Well, I definitely think it's a problem that we seem to want to address through legislation, referendums, resolutions, what have you. That won't solve the issues on campus. What needs to happen is, I think there's a few problems. First of all, I think there is a fear among the non-minority groups about how to approach the situation. I think there's sort of an uncomfortable edge that sort of like, what is appropriate to talk about and what is not appropriate to talk about. And I think that really needs to be brought out in the open and create the safe space for both sides of the table. Perspective that it's hard for other senators to bring, and I think we have to take that they're elected to represent a community that has a minority status or some sort of status that is not getting the same equal voice, same representation. So I think you have to listen to their opinions, because the best way to really, I think, address these issues is to go out and talk to people from these communities and go out to see what is facing them, what are the problems, what are the challenges they face.
They're underrepresented group to the Senate body. And I think that the definition of a community representative is interesting, because currently we have community reps from different racial minorities or different gender backgrounds. But I see the role of community rep could possibly be even expanded to include, for example, the potential of an engineering community rep on Senate, because most senators come from a liberal arts background. Or maybe a community rep to represent the interests of commuter students on campus. The community rep position is there to represent a group which isn't present on Senate through voted-in practices. So if they're not there to be represented, then their voice can't